So the other day I was doing my spring list video where I was talking about some niche fragrances, and at the very end of the video I was talking about a fragrance and I was like, this is a hidden gem. And so I decided to go through and do a video where I'm going to be talking about 10 fragrances from my collection that I feel are definitely hidden gems, whether they're not talked about enough or just not enough people know about them. So that's what we're talking about today, 10 hidden gem fragrances. So without further ado, let's get it. What's going on, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude. Thank you guys so much for joining me for yet another video where I'm going to be talking about some fragrances, doing some whiffing, some sniffing.
But guess what? You're going to like it.
All that good stuff. Before we get into it, if you can, so kindly, if you're not already and you like my content, hit that subscribe button. Everybody on your way in, hit the like. Also, comment below. Let me know some fragrances that you find to be definitely hidden gems. And I actually just tested out a fragrance this morning from the House of Sillage called The Contemporary, sent to me by Mo. It's like a mix between Plum Japonais and Versace Dylan Blue. I'm going to be doing a review on that soon, and man, that is definitely a hidden gem, but I don't have a bottle. Just got a decant sent to me by Mo. So, but today we're going to be going through again. I was spawned this video because the other day I was talking about a fragrance, and I was like, yo, that's a hidden gem.
You're crazy, man.
And so I decided I was going to start talking about it. And now I'm going to be doing top 10 hidden gems in my collection, or just 10 hidden gems, because, I mean, it's all subjective. So top 10, not really. It's just like 10 hidden gem fragrances. We're going to start off with the one that spawned this video. This one you can find in Sephora. It's just nobody talks about it, especially men, like in the fragrance community. I haven't seen this mentioned by anybody. I mean, and it's honestly amazing. This is by Tom Ford. It is Soleil Neige. Tom Ford Soleil Neige. Really, really, really nice bottle. I mean, it's the Tom Ford private blend bottle. But yes, I can see where some people would find this in the opening, leaning slight bit femme, unisex leaning femme. I can see that, but I have now sent a decant of this to like 5 different people, and I put it as a mystery fragrance to all of them, and every single one of them was like, holy crap, what is that? I mean, it's amazing. I even did a decant live stream where we did mystery fragrances where I sent them to Ross and Dedrick, and both of them loved it. But Tom Ford Soleil Neige, I've talked about it a bunch, so you guys know, for me, it's definitely not a hidden gem because I know about it, but it's definitely, a lot of people don't know about it. And it's not actually that expensive. You can find it for like $150, $160 on discounters. But Soleil Neige starts out, it's a beautiful floral with a bit of citrus up top. It's a very beautiful fragrance, absolutely. But the jasmine is really full force. It has a little bit of citrus in there, and that is the point where, again, because of the floral, it does come off a bit feminine, and I can understand that. But that's where this fragrance very quickly starts to transition. And while this is a floral fragrance at its core, and you know I don't like florals, so me saying that this is a hidden gem and one of my favorite fragrances in my collection is saying something. When it starts to dry down, it starts to get more creamy. It gets almost this vanillic woodiness that comes in. You definitely get some amber tones that pull in. And that is where it becomes more of like a creamy floral. It's fresh, it's clean, and it smells like a high-end sunscreen. So if you like those style of fragrances, and it like has that slight coconut feeling, even though I don't believe there's coconut in it. I've never actually looked at the notes for it, but it doesn't smell like coconut. It just smells like jasmine, amber, vanilla. But it's a very, very beautiful, very high quality fragrance that lasts 8+ hours. I mean, for me, it actually lasts like 10+ hours. It's a very, very nice fragrance. This Tom Ford Soleil Neige, definitely a hidden gem in my collection. I always keep my Tom Fords in their box, so I'm putting it back in the box. It's just the way I do it. The next one is from the House of Azzaro, and I didn't hear about this line ever. I think it's one that's just sold mostly overseas. You can find a lot of them. There's Maritimo, there is Favignana, and Lavanzo that are in the line. and I believe it's just a European exclusive, but yeah, they're hard to find unless you're on Fragrance Buy, and Fragrance Net sometimes has it. This is Azzaro Solarissimo Favignana. So yeah, Favignana and a Solarissimo. I always have trouble saying that word. I'm not sure why, but they have one that's more of like a blue fresh aquatic. That is the Maritimo. They have the Lavanza, which is more of your green spring fragrance with a bit of fruitiness. And then you have this one. This is more of your vanilla, ambery, boozy scent. Similar to the realms of like Initio Side Effect. Well, it doesn't smell like that at all. It does remind me of something. I just can't put my finger on it. But picture just a boozy, rich, warm, vanilla, ambery scent. It's very beautiful, and for these, you can usually find them around 30 bucks. And the bottle's nice, clear, nice glass with a. This one has the orange gradient. There's a green and a blue gradient, and then they have the nice wooden caps, and they're 50 mils. But I'm telling you, Azzaro Solarissimo, Favignana. I can't say the word, so I always have to look at the bottle. This one is very nice if you're looking for a nice fall and winter gem that is cheap. Very, very nice. And speaking of cheapy gems, this is one that I'm wearing today as my scent of the day, and I'm actually going to reapply on my shirt because I sprayed it all over my skin, but I put a new shirt on. This is by Lacoste. It's Lacoste L'Homme Intense. Lacoste L'Homme is a really nice fragrance. Lacoste L'Homme Timeless takes this fragrance and adds a bit of tea to it, but this one is a fresh blue rhubarb scent. So if you like blue fragrances and you want a nice unique twist to that fresh blue style, well, it's not like a spicy ambery blue like Versace Dylan blue. It's more in the realms of like Aqua Sensual or something like that. It doesn't smell like it. I'm just saying like the freshness. And then you add, and I mean the rhubarb in this is tart. It is full force, and it's the main prominent note in the fragrance. It is fruity. It is unique. If you've ever smelled rhubarb, it smells like a rhubarb pie put on top of a blue fragrance with the aromatics, a bit of a woodiness. It's a very, very nice fragrance. It doesn't last that long, which is why I just had to reapply it on my shirt. That's about 4 hours, but Lacoste L'Homme Intense you can find for like 20, 25 bucks. Really, really good fragrance. The next one, people have heard about it, but it's only sold mostly at like fragrance outlet and stuff like that. You can sometimes find it online, but I got mine on eBay for like $56. It's actually really nice. This is by Michael Malul. It's Citizen Jack Absolute. Citizen Jack Absolute. It did get a bit of hate back in the day. And never pick it up by the cap because the cap doesn't even click on. It just sits. It just sits on there. That's one thing I don't like about Michael Malul bottles, at least the older ones. But Citizen Jack Absolute, it is kind of like Michael Malul's version of Xerjoff's Herba Pura. If you've ever tried Amber Oud Gold Edition by All Harmain, same thing. Armauve's edition, which is Ombre Oud Intense, all of those are the same. Fruity, musky, tropical, very, very nice. While this one to me is the best of all of those because this one seems to be the best blend in the highest quality of all of them, even the Xerjoff. The fruitiness in it is very nice. That pineapple, it's a very beautiful, musky, fruity, tropical scent with a nice sandalwood creaminess underneath it. That is Citizen Jack Absolute. Lasts about 5 to 6 hours. Not a heavy projector, but it's about moderate, but hidden gem for sure in my opinion. The next one, this is not necessarily a hidden gem if you've been watching my channel, but it's the best watermelon fragrance in existence. This is by Copperstill. It's Copperstill Watermelon Shine. And now that I brought the Copperstill out, I probably should have brought out a few of my imaginary authors' fragrances.
Fuck! Oh!
Because not a lot of people talk about those. And I could have brought out Saint Julep or Memoirs of a Trespasser, a lot of those different things. But anyway, Copperstill XXX Watermelon Shine. As you can tell, my bottle is just about gone. It is one of the most high quality, juicy watermelon scents. I've always looked for a watermelon scent, and every time I get it, it's like the watermelon's downplayed and everything else. Like, for instance, Millésime Imperial is that saltiness on top of the melon accord. Well, this one, the watermelon, it's like a watermelon Jolly Rancher right in your face. Very beautiful. As you get to the dry down, it does have some boozy tones in the opening. Nothing too strong, although I know my moderator Mo said he gets the booze strong. Me and a couple other people I've talked to that tried this don't get that huge boozy tone. As you get to the dry down, you get a bit of sassafras that makes it feel almost like a watermelon root beer, but don't get it twisted. If you just want to smell like a nice watermelon, that's what this does. Lasts about 8 hours. Very, very good fragrance. That is Copperstill Watermelon Shine. It's a watermelon Jolly Rancher. Really, that's what it smells like. Anyway, speaking of tropical fragrances and stuff like that,
at today's track meet, you do that, and I'll sign this pass.
it wouldn't be a good list. This one is just getting all the hype this year, and so yes, it's still a hidden gem because until me, Dedrick, and Ross did our live stream, I have only seen it on one other video across the fragrance community, but this is my favorite tropical fragrance at this point in time. It's by Lamari. It's Lamari Porthole. Lamari Porthole, very beautiful bottle, high-end bottle, has a nice cap that sticks on, has a nice atomizer. This fragrance is a passion fruit pineapple balm, super tropical fruits, unisex at its core 100%, not leaning one way or the other, but it is a super long lasting, I mean like 8 to 9 hours for a tropical fragrance is a crazy amount of time. This fragrance lasts, and it projects, and it's fantastic. It's simplistic, but fantastic. It's almost like if you took that saltiness that you get from like Millésime Imperial and you put it underneath the fragrance, and on top of it, you just had a bunch of pineapple and passion fruit. It is very high quality fruits, very tropical feeling. It's the best beach, pool, boardwalk fragrance that you can find. Great for the high heat. Loumari Porthole, best tropical fragrance out there. It's the first fragrance I almost gave a 10 on my channel, but I gave it a 9.5. It's so freaking good. I mean, it's super simplistic. It's like 3 different tones, and that's about it. As you get to the dry, you get a little bit of a woodiness, and then you have musk around the outside, but it's passion fruit, pineapple, and salt. Very, 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 very nice. Going into the last 3. Let's see, how many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 4 left. This one is one of the best blues, and I haven't seen it talked about in such a long time. It's like $20 for the bottle that I got, and honestly, it's just so amazing. This is Rochas L'Homme, and it says L'Homme Rochas on it, but it's Rochas L'Homme. Rochas L'Homme, back in the day, it won a bunch of awards, and even so, it's not like anything that's super vintage or anything like that. It still smells modern. It is a almost like sweet juniper fruity blue. It still has that ambroxan feeling to it, like a little bit of an ambery tone. The juniper is rocking in the opening. You get almost like a vanillic feeling to it, but you get this pineapple juniper opening that provides this beautiful, very, very fresh, clean, fruity blue. And then as it starts to dry, it gets more into that blue and less away from the fruits. And that's actually where I start to absolutely love the fragrance. While the opening is super nice, the dry down is just where you get your clean, fresh aromatics, a little bit of spice, a little bit of cedar woodiness. It gets a bit creamy, it gets a bit of sweetness that comes in, but overall, it is the signature scent worthy, and it's probably, and I'm going to say this, it is the best blue fragrance for the price out there. And you guys can fight me on that, but as far as a signature worthy blue scent, this is the best for the price, which again, I paid like $19, $20 for this fragrance. Rochas L'Homme, fan-freaking-tastic. Going into the next one. This one is, when I first got it, I hated it. Not even kidding, like for the first 2 times that I wore it, did not like it, and the decant was just like, I was like, I need to get another decant. I need to see what people are talking about. It is a tale of 2 different fragrances. It starts out one way and it goes to another. This is by Guerlain. It is Abbey Rouge Prive. Abbey Rouge Prive. I just got this full bottle in. I did a trade with Eddie and got it. But this is not an everyday wear for me, but it's one of my favorite fougere-like fragrances. It opens up. It's very soapy, lemon dominant. It's very citrus, very soapy. So if you don't like those vintage style, soapy, fougere style fragrances, barbershop, then you're not going to like this. That's how it is for the first like 35 to 40 minutes. It does creep in with a little bit of leather as you get about 10 minutes into the fragrance. And I know some people are off put by that. I am not. But while that's not my favorite part of the fragrance, I've never been a big fan of the barbershop. You guys know that. I've just never been a big fan. Sorry, I have a cold. But as this gets to the dry down, it's almost like a tale of two fragrances. It goes from that barbershop fragrance, and while that never fully leaves, that becomes more of an undertone nuance after about 35 to 40 minutes. And then you get this like almost like vanillic leather, creamy, ambery tone that comes in, and it turns into more of like a semi-warm and creamy fragrance with a bit of leather, and then it has this undertone barbershop fragrance. Well, in the opening, it's actually just straight barbershop. I mean, soapy, everything that you can think. It's super sudsy and fougere-ish. But yeah, Abbey Rouge Prive, very interesting. The dry down is like a 9.2 for me, while the opening is like an 8. It did, like, as far as barbershops, this is probably my favorite, but it's that dry down that really gets me because it completely changes to a different type of fragrance altogether. I know a lot of people don't like it, and it's not worth a blind buy. I can tell you that for sure. I'm very interested in the new Abbey Rouge that came out here in 2024. Apparently, it takes that style of DNA and it turns it into a gourmand. So I'm going to try that out at some point. I just hope I can get a decant of that because, again, I hated this when I first tried it, but now I can actually wear it. I like wearing it to work. It's an undersprayer for me. It pushes out really heavily. Anyway, going into the last two. So this one, I had a 15 milliliter little thing that I got from their travel set. And this one was my favorite from it. And this is Cologne Cedrat. And so, yeah, it's one of these, has the atomizers. It's 15 mils, something like that. But Cologne Cedrat, and people have asked me, it doesn't smell like Cedrat Boisé, no. This is going to be a very dominant lemon scent. And then Cedrat, it's cedar. It's a very dominant lemon scent moving into a decent amount of cedar as that lemon starts to dissipate, which it actually takes about maybe like an hour and a half to fully dissipate. You do get a very beautiful cedar, and it has almost like this cedar with a citrusy tone underneath. You do get some musk, you get a bit of spice, you get a bit of a floral tone mixed together with that lemon. It's a very simplistic fragrance. It has a bit of a green undertone, but if you want something super citrusy, super fresh, woody, that is what you're getting with Cologne Cedrat. It is a very beautiful cologne-like fragrance. I mean, it's going to be perfect for the end of spring and then into the summer. It's like 90-degree weather. You're looking for a high-quality fragrance. Look no further. This is super simplistic. I mean, look it up. Get a decant. Really nice. Cologne Cedrat by Matiere Parfums. And then the last one on my list. Had to put this on the list, which is why I said I should have brought St. Julep out. That's like a runner-up. I mean, from Imaginary Authors. But this one, by the House of Coastal Carolina Parfums. This is Southern Peach Tea. Southern Peach Tea. You can tell, I mean, I just got this in. It's already like sprayed like 40 times. This is top 5 indie. I mean, and indie is the new niche, so it's like top 10 in my collection. I'm telling you. Southern Peach Tea. It is one of the most natural Georgia peaches. It smells like straight up Georgia peaches, like a can of peaches. If you mix it together with a Southern Brew tea, like if you ever had Southern Brew tea at the store, very, very, very unique mixture that you get a bit of a floral tone. I believe it's orange blossom and jasmine. You get a bit of that mixing in, which I know one person out of like the 30 that have tried this, that I know at least, said that they get a lot of florals and less of the rest of it. But for me, it smells like a Southern Peach Tea mixed together with a little bit of spice and then an ambery undertone, a bit of vanilla. This vanilla comes in the dry down, and then you get this like slight floral tone creeping through the fragrance. After about 2 hours, the peach starts to dissipate just a bit as it becomes almost like a peach creamsicle with a tea undertone. It's so freaking good. It's so good. I mean, you need to try it out. If you just do me a favor, if there's one fragrance from this entire list that you want to try out, try this out. Just do it. That is great. If you even semi like the notes of tea or peach, try that fragrance and then let me know what your thoughts are. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but I'm telling you, you're going to like it. But my favorite from that list is Porthole. I mean, that's just like my top fragrance right now. Anyway, so those are 10 hidden gem fragrances from my collection. Some of them are necessarily hidden gems, like, I mean, Citizen Jack or the Soleil Neige. If you're in your Sephora and you're actually looking and smelling, not a hidden gem, but based on the people that are talking about it, they're definitely hidden gems. So let me know some of your favorite hidden gems, and again, I'll be back with another one. Peace out.